Okay, yeah, so we're on the A wing, so let's have a look at about some more. So I'm going to try and hold this steady. Okay, so we've just been into cell 43, which is this one here, okay, with the beds and stuff, so you can see that anyway. And that's looking all the way down the left side of A wing, and you've got the right side. Now, as I mentioned, there's 4 levels. And it's absolutely silent. There's nobody here. I mean, obviously, you know, during the first sort of, I don't know what, half an hour, 40 minutes, we've had a couple of people, and you could probably hear them anyway. I am now alone. There's nobody here, which in a way I'm excited about, because it means me and you can literally just roam around this whole prison with no interruptions. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you, we're going to look on every level, but when we get to 2nd or 3rd level, I'm going to let you see what it's like in here without anything, with no sound. So let's just keep walking. So this is segregation, okay, so you walk into segregation, so you've got cell 43 behind us, obviously 42, I'll show you, this is cell 42, so it's slightly different. So if I just give you a look, so you can see, I'm just trying to hold things steady so I'm not wobbling around. So there's cell 42, I'll just move it the way, so you can see, 42, I know it's back to front, but 42. Okay, so cell 1 is, cell 1 starts from that side, goes all the way up to 20 something, and then it comes back down all the way to 40, 41, 42, 43, and it's the same on every floor. So this is cell 42, so I'm going to take you in here, I'm going to walk. So this cell is slightly different. Again, you've got toilet, sink, little tiny epoxy sink, your mirror, a little kind of not worktop, obviously it's like where you put your clothes, your shoes and stuff, and then bed, which is solid, by the way, so it's not soft, it's just solid, and there's your window. But yeah, this is cell 42, but it looks slightly different, you can see. If I just show you, okay, so it does look slightly different from the cell next door, and obviously that's where the TV would have been and panels and stuff, but this would have been only for one person, whereas next door you could have had 2 people. And again, you've got the door. Let's show you, so these are the across. And you can hear by the doors, they're all really heavy and they're really narrow. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but if I stand in the doorway, they're big enough for one person. So, oh, my arm's shaking, sorry. So they're only big enough for one person. I don't know if you can see that. See that? Side, side. So you can't squeeze past, they're just big enough for one person. That's it. But it's like, I don't know, just coming in here thinking, this is my home for the next 20 or 30 or 40 years. It's just incredible. Anyway, I've got so much to get through. Absolutely loads to get through. So let's just keep going. So as I mentioned, we'll go through to segregation. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Segregate. Okay, so we've just come from there. So that's the entrance into A wing. Yeah, through there. So we've been in that cell. And we've been in that cell. So we come straight through this way, segregation. So this is the first guard office. Okay, so there's nothing in here. So it's just an office. There's another one, I don't know if you can see it. Past those flight of steps, I don't know if you can just see it past the flight of steps, there's another little booth there. There's about, I think there's 2 guard posts on every floor. One in the middle and one here. And obviously there's one next door to us as well, look. You've got another one next door. Okay, so this is where the guards would have, there may have been, I'm sure there would have been a table, computer, telephone, you know, they could have had tea and coffee in these, but this is where they would have sat, 24/7. Okay, so the guards would have been in these bits here. Okay, so segregation, so here we go, so here's the first prison cell. Okay, so just to clarify, number 1, don't know if you can see it on the screen, can you see it? Oh, you can, number 1. Yeah. And again, it's pretty much the same as, you've got the toilet and everything else. Okay, so got some people coming. down this way. So this is prison cell number 2, which again is slightly different. You've actually got, I don't know why this is different, guys, I've no idea. That obviously would have been a camera in that corner, but all that's in here is that tiny little wooden thing and a wooden bed. So I don't know why this one was different from the others. It may have been for somebody who was more violent, more vulnerable, more high risk. But just to give you an idea, so this is cell 2. And again, before issuing tours, put ID card. There's a little cupboard thing up there. But that's their cell. But look how basic it is. But I don't know, unless this is just more of a holding cell for somebody. Or maybe this was a cell for somebody who was only here for maybe 24 hours, 12 hours. I don't know, but it's just, and you can tell by my voice, it's really echoey in here. But that's it, that's the bed on the floor, just that. That's all you get. And obviously the prison cell doors, that's what's there. So I don't know why that one was slightly different, but that could be why. And obviously that's their cell door, and then you've got this bit here. So perhaps there was an officer who sat in this bit, because it looks like, yeah, maybe there was an officer who sat in this bit here to keep an eye on the person who was in that cell. So maybe this was somebody, for somebody who was more high risk. So they were separated, segregated from the rest, which would explain why this is segregation. Okay, you've actually got 4 segregation cells. Okay, so just to, you've got cell 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so this is segregation cell 3. Again, it's slightly different. You've got your sink, there's your toilet, and your bed, and that's it. And you've got a tiny little seat and a little table in the corner. So yeah, this is segregation cell 3. So let's come back out. And then this is segregation 4. So pretty much the same. So I think the most high risk and most, I don't know, the most dangerous, if you like, the most dangerous and high risk person was kept in this one, cell 2. Simply because of the layout and the way it was designed and everything else. And obviously cell 1, 3 and 4 were for people who were maybe not as much at high risk, but that's what I think. Okay, so just to give you an idea, so these are the guard offices. So we've just come in. So that's where we were just a minute ago in there. So you can see anyway, but that's how you come into segregation, which is this little 4-cell block. And then we come through here. All right, so that, if you like, we just pan the camera out so you can make sure you can see. So that is segregation. Okay, so that block, that bit. And obviously the 4 cells are just there. And then we're now in the actual A-wing. But I'm going to show you that in a second. I just want to show you this one. This is the constant watch cell. Okay? So this is somebody who needed to be watched 24/7. And they were literally watched 24/7 by a guard. Okay, so that hatch on the door, that little strip of glass, was never shut. They were watched 24/7. They had a sink. They had the toilet. And they had the bed. Yeah, and they had a little cabinet in the corner. And that's it. That would have been a camera. That tiny little thing on the wall above. If you can see on, you can. That little thing above the door, that would have been the camera. So that's how they would have been able to watch the person in the cell 24/7, as well as manually watching and checking up on them as well. Okay? And again, it's, the feeling is just so tight. I mean, that door is so narrow. I mean, I know it looks a lot on the camera, but it's so narrow. So they would have shut the cell door, and then they would have closed this enormous metal shutter, like that. And that's how they would have been watched. So the cell door would have been shut, and that's how they would have been watched. So that was a constant cell watch, and there's only that one. There isn't another one, it's just this one. So that's for somebody who was obviously at very high risk of self-harm or violence or anything like that, or mentally unstable. That's where they would have been kept, in that cell, and constantly watched. And obviously the officers in this would have been able to watch. Okay, so we now come down here. So again, you've got cell number 6. Like I said, I'm not going to go into every cell, but this is cell number 6. I mean, this is just the ground floor, but again, we've got bunk beds. So you've got the sink, the toilet, and again, like I said, you can see the rails, can't you, on the ceiling, look. The little curtains. And again, they had wooden bunk beds. Okay, so let's make a bit more kind of progress. So again, you've got 7, you've got 8. So they've actually set this one up like an actual cell, which is pretty cool. So this will give you an idea of how it would have actually looked. Yep, so the beds are made up. They would have had newspaper. There's the toilet, there's a headless mannequin. But yeah, this is to give you an idea of how it would have actually looked. So you've got, everything's plastic, knives, forks, cups and everything else. There's the tray for food. Towels and belongings go there. A little closet for books and shower gels and bits and bobs as well, look. And then obviously a TV and a kettle in the corner. And that's it. That's obviously your house. This is your home. You know, this is your home for the next however long you've been here for. But yeah, you can see, look, how it looks. It's just like a mock of how it would have actually looked. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't matter which cell you go into, you can just feel the intensity of it. The kind of, you can just feel it. Okay. So then we come down here, so let's just try and think where to go next. Okay, we'll go here next. Okay, MDT. Now I don't know what MDT stands for, but I'll show you. It's gone on the wall at MDT. Basically, it's a kitchen. So we go in there. You can kind of see. This is obviously the guard's kitchen. And then we've got some cells down here, or something. Oh, I don't know what this is. Okay, guys, I have no idea what MDT stands for, but we've got 2 cells. Both could be locked. MDT. I'm wondering if these are for people who were kicking off or for violent. So I don't know, guys. It could be. I'm not quite sure what MDT stands for, but there's 2. You can see one there, one there. There's the tiny rooms. There's nothing in them. So I'm wondering if they are for people who are kicking off, violent, almost like restraint rooms, in a way. I could be wrong, I don't know, but my goodness me, they're just so tiny. I mean, I'll show you. This is it. This is what it is. So I'm standing right in the middle of the room. One more there. But this is it, and then the door shut. There's like a little thing like that. But there's 2 of these. Imagine being cooped up in here. There's nothing, there's no toilet, no sink. I can show you. You saw anyway. But there's nothing in it. It's just a tiny, tiny, tiny room and the door. You imagine being locked in here for it's almost like solitary confinement. Maybe that's what these are. Maybe these are more like solitary confinement rooms, but I can feel the intensity, the closing in feeling. I can feel it around my ears, around my face. I can really feel it, closing in. I don't feel despair, I don't feel sad, I just can feel a closing in feeling. And to think that the only thing that you have in here is your thoughts. That's all you've got. just your thoughts and the sound of your own voice, because there's nobody to talk to, and the guards ain't going to stand there and talk to you through the door. And I suppose if you shout loud enough, you might be able to talk to the person next door. But it's making me shiver. You could probably tell that I kind of shivered. Just makes you shiver. Obviously, they have like this. There's a toilet things here, but I'm not saying that's for them. Maybe they were allowed to go to the toilet, or maybe they were allowed to press to say they needed the toilet, went to the toilet, and then back in them rooms again. And then this is obviously for the guards and stuff like this, where they make tea and coffee. Yeah, it's tea and coffee and things in there. So MDT, I'll have to look that up. But anyway, and you've got your barred thing in front. Okay, well, there's so much to look at. Okay, so I can't go through. Right, let's go this way. So I'm trying to show you everything. There's so much. Okay, we've got the intervention suite. Intervention suite. And I've been told that there's quite a lot of history behind the intervention suite. Now, I don't actually know what that history is. Intervention suite. So you've got 4 beds. So you've got you've actually got a bit of luxury. You've got a cubicle, a sink and a toilet, and then you've got 4 beds. You've got 2 there, 2 there. So the intervention suite. So maybe this was for prisoners or inmates who were very low risk and were allowed to share. I'm assuming. But apparently, I can't remember what, but there is a lot of history attached to the intervention suite. Apparently so. Okay, should we go and look at some more? Because we've got so much to show you. The intervention suite. Okay, so we're going to walk down this way. So we've now got down here. So we're still on the ground floor of A-Wing, so we've come from the top end, so don't worry. We've come from up there, and we're working our way this way. We have got 4 cells for first night or first time people. No, I know that again. No, it's better front. So cell 12, 13, 14 and 15, I believe, ground floor A-Wing, are the first night cells. So for the first time that you ever came here, you spent your first night in here. So we're going to go in. And this will be going for 2 people, up to 2 people. Okay? Again, very basic. You had a shelving unit with your TV and things on there, your door. You had your curtain up there. There's your toilet. There's your sink. That's it. And your 2 beds. So that's your first night cell. Okay, so and that's it. That's all it is. And like I said, you had 4. So there's a cell first night 13. There's your 14. And your 15. First night. Okay, now that's pretty much all I'm going to show you on this floor, because I'm eager to show you the rest. But I just want you to have a look. So we're on the ground floor and right in the middle of A-Wing. And this is extraordinary. And you can see just by looking just how big this prison is. Now I'm giving you a good look about. But this will show you. And take a look up there. That is all A-Wing. So you're looking at the other floor, at the other 4 levels of A-Wing, right up to the ceiling. So you can see. So it's looking right up to the top. So just so you can see. Yep. So that's cell 1 down that way, all the way up to 15, 16, 17, all the way down to 22, the end. Then you've got 23, and that goes all the way down to cell 43, all the way down the other end. Okay. So how's about we go upstairs? And just to briefly kind of show you, all the cells are pretty much the same. So this is cell 26. So again, they're all pretty much the same. So they're all pretty much the same. So let's go. Take you upstairs. So we're going to go up the stairs to the 2nd floor. Okay. So this is level 2. Okay, so you've got stairs that go up to the 3rd and 4th floor. So this is level 2. I'm just going to show you. Look at that, all the way down to the other end. It's just extraordinary. Again, you've got cell 1 to 22, and you've got cell 23 to 43. Okay? So let's just go for a walk down here, and I'll show you. So you can kind of see. So let me just show you over the, just over the thing, look, so you can see. So you can see the guard post, so that's the guard station there, look. And you can see the guard station directly underneath. So that's where we were just a minute ago. That's the ground floor of A-Wing. We're on level 2, level 3, and level 4 right at the top. But yeah, this is level 2. So let's take it down. You can see all the cells. Pretty much the same. Same layout, toilet, sink. That's where the bed would have been there. So yeah. And then you've got like your first night cell there, look. Across there. So let's just go down here. See, these are the beds. So these are the actual beds. And I'll be sleeping on one of these. You see how they're made into bunk beds, and they're not comfortable. They're solid metal, so they're not comfy in the slightest. But that's to give you an idea of what it's like. In a cell. It's just, wow. Let's go back out. We're going in this way. So again, this is like the guard. Here's your guard post. So you had like a guard station on every floor. So the guards came in here, and this is where they were able to watch. You can get an idea of what they were allowed to do. They were allowed to see everything. Now then, I believe... Okay, so this, I don't know if you can, hopefully you can hear me okay. This is where the inmates were allowed to shower. Now, I'll just show you outside the door so you can see. Outside every door you have this little yellow thing here. Now they had to put things like razors or anything sharp in here. Okay, so they weren't allowed to take anything sharp into the showers. This is the shower. Okay, so they had like there's the sink. So there's like a little wash bit there for, sometimes you have things like, I don't know, clothes or whatever, put them there, wash your hands. And then these are the actual showers. Just show you. So like benches, and you have like showers. So it looks like you had about 6. And that's where they used to shower. Okay. Let's take you back this way. So I'm just going to turn that off. There we go. So go back this way. Walk you down this way. So here you have like the snooker table. So this is the actual snooker table that they had. Okay, so again, this isn't a replica. This is the actual table that the inmates were allowed to use and play on. So I'll just give you an idea, so you can kind of see how it looks. And this was always stored on this floor simply because this is the landing that's got the most space for the inmates. So this is almost like the games area of second wing, A wing, or level 2. So this is where they played snooker, and this is where the games area was. Okay, because like I said, it's got this kind of landing area for the inmates to play on. And then we make our way down. So we'll come down this way, and it's this end cell here, cell 42 and 43. Now you can probably see, if I stand back, you can probably see that cell 42's doorway has been blocked up. And the reason for that being is because, I'll just take you in there so you can have a look. So if we go in, you can see, so it's quite big. So the reason why this cell, that cell door has been blocked up is because there was a gentleman here who was suffering from a very bad disease. And so to give him more space and to make it more comfortable for him, they actually closed off cell 43, knocked it through, blocked the door up, and actually gave him more space. So that's why 42 and 43 are joined together, and it's the only cell on A wing which is like it, basically. So that's why it's been knocked into one. It's because he was suffering from a very bad disease, medical condition, and he actually died in this cell. He did actually die. He didn't commit suicide, he wasn't executed, but he died in cell 42 of level 2 of A wing. So he died in this. Once he passed away, they then converted this into toilets. So you can see how they've converted it. Okay, so cell 43 would have been just where I'm standing here, but they've now converted it into toilets. Obviously, if you open the door, yeah, so they've now made it into like a washroom. So you've got like a washroom and a toilet. So they made it more kind of comfortable. Yeah, so I'll give you an idea. And that's why they've done what they've done. And that's the only cell that's been made that way. Simply for that reason. So you can kind of see, can't you? Okay. So I'll just give you one last look. I'm just going to come backwards. And then we'll go through this way. So this is the healthcare section. So I'll give you an idea of what to look for here. So this is where inmates were given the prescription drugs and stuff. So they came immediately up from the healthcare, and they came up to this section here. And they came to this hatch. And all you had was a tiny little gap. These bits of glass moved, and the nurse would pass the prescription through this little hatchway. All right, and this is going into like the medical side, the medical room. Okay, so this is like the medical room. So this is where the pharmacist would have been, and this is like somewhere where the inmates were allowed to change, so they're allowed to go to the toilet, wash their hands. Yeah, and this is looking into the pharmacist, if you like. So this is where the nurse would have given the medication to the inmates through that little hatch. Yeah. So it's just pokey and tiny, isn't it? And you walk through into this little office here. So you've got another office. So this, obviously, I would imagine would have been her office. You know, she would have sat in here. This is where all a desk, a paperwork, a computer and everything, telephone would have been in here. So she would have sat in this bit here. And obviously she had a guarded off, or a cordoned on, like a gate, to prevent inmates from getting into her office. So that will show you roughly where she would have gone. So we're going to go through this door, and we're going to the back office. So we're now going into the back office. So we come down here. These are all not so much consultation rooms, but these. So I'll go back through this way. And I'll go back onto A wing. and I'll take it up onto the 3rd and 4th floor, and then we'll stop there. I think that'll be the end of part 1. So we're just now walking down the the left-hand side of A wing on level 2. So we'll go up onto the next floors. So again, we just literally go up the flight of stairs. That's it. So we go up here. So we're now on level 3. And it's the same as the other 2 levels. So again, the same amount of cells, same layout. So you've got the, again, you've got the guard post in the middle. Okay, and I'm just going to take you up to the 4th floor, so you can kind of really see. Okay, so we're now on the 4th floor. So this is the top level of A wing. Now, that flight of steps there, that little flight of steps just there, that just goes up into like the, you know, where all the plumbing and all the rest of it, all the, yeah. So it's basically like maintenance. So that's what them doors are there. But we're now on the top floor. Again, you've got like a guard post on the top floor. If I just show you. There you go, so you can see that's the guard post. So yeah, so we're now on the very top floor of A wing. I'm just going to show you what it's like up here. Just looking above. So you can kind of get an idea. So it's huge. And again, you've got the changing rooms and stuff, which are the same as before. So again, if I just flick the light on, should come on? Oh no, maybe not. No, okay. So it's the same anyway, so you've got another 6 showers, same layout as level 2. And again, you weren't allowed to put any, you have to put like your sharps and things. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to walk down here. So we're just going to take a slow walk down this way. Now, I'm not going to take you into, like I said, all the cells because they're exactly the same as the other floors. I mean, I'll pop your head in so you can see. So it's like cell 24, and that's looking all the way to the other end. I'm just going to walk backwards. There we go. Okay, now this one in particular, cell 23 on level 4. This, for whatever reason, this cell is known as the fridge. It's been nicknamed the fridge simply because it is often, mysteriously and unexplainably, icy cold. Okay, so we're going to go and have a look anyway. I mean, it's no different to any of the other cells. It's exactly the same. It doesn't feel any different. However, on regular occasions, it's icy cold for no apparent reason, colder than any of the other cells, and it's been nicknamed the fridge. So yeah, so cell 23 on the top floor. So there's obviously some interest there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to put your camera on here. Well, actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go around this way so you can see. Okay, so we're now looking. I'm just going to show you all the way. So you're now looking all the way down to ground floor. So ground floor is all the way down there. And you've got level 2, level 3, and we're on level 4. So now you can see just how big this prison is. And I don't know if you can see, if you've got any way of looking out their windows. So that's like looking at the workshop area. It's like, but yeah, this. So just to kind of give you an idea of the scale. Now, for some reason, the left-hand side of this prison was more, that there's more stories attached to the left-hand side of this prison than the right. Now, I don't know if they mean left as in this side, or that side. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's this side. I think it's this side. Now I believe I'm not saying it's this level or this floor, but the left-hand side saw more suicides than the right-hand side. In fact, I believe it was in just 2 weeks. I can't remember what year it was, but in just 2 weeks, in 1 year, they had 3 suicidal. No, they weren't just suicidal attempts; they were actual suicides. Okay, so in the space of 2 weeks, they had 3 suicides in 2 weeks, successful suicides, and they were specifically, for some reason, connected. They were on the left-hand side of this prison, or the left-hand side of this wing, rather than the right-hand side. But we're not quite sure why. But there you go. So just to give a bit more information. So I'm going to take you down the far end, and we're going to finish this in a minute, guys, because obviously I don't want to go on too long, but I just want to let you have a look. So I'm just walking down. I think what we're going to do, how's about we spend some time in a cell. So I'm just going to close the door. There we go. I'm going to pop you up there. So I just want to make sure that you can kind of see me as well. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know. Might be better over there. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to kind of get things. Just want to stay there. I'm just going to stay here for a bit. I think for me, it sounds really strange. Can you hear my voice echoing? You probably can. You can tell that I'm in a box of some kind, or in a very enclosed space. I feel very uncomfortable in here. And in fact, while I'm sitting here, I've only been in here for probably a minute and a half, maybe not even that long. And already, even though I'm doing a live video message, and even though I know I'm being filmed and I can see myself and everything else, and even though I know that I'm literally just in here to show you what it's like, what it sounds like, but also I want to tell you what it feels like. It's not very nice. And even though I know all that, I'm already thinking about my family and my friends. I think it's just a natural reaction. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about my best friend, my work colleagues, my family. I'm actually sitting here racing through all the times that I've been to my family and stayed in Hertfordshire. I'm starting to think about the places I've worked. And I've only been here just a few minutes, and already you kind of feel, you start thinking about the people that you've met, the people you miss, people you care about. You actually start missing them. That's what I'm beginning to feel, beginning to miss them people already, really miss them. It's surprising what it does, and I've only been here just a few minutes. I can feel the intensity, I really can. I can really feel it. I can feel it around my ears, my face, my head. It feels very intense. And I can't imagine spending years in this room even with somebody. I suppose I'd rather share with somebody than not, because at least you've got somebody to talk to. feeling, guys. Really not a nice feeling at all. It's a fascinating experience because I've never done this before. But it's not a nice experience. And I'm looking at that door thinking, I can't see anything. There's no look. I've got nothing to look at. You know, the door's shut. The shutters are crossed. Even if it wasn't, I wouldn't really be able to see anything anyway, apart from the cell opposite. It's a really heavy, almost like despair. It's the best way to describe it. A very heavy despair feeling. And actually I can feel the intensity and the closeness and that closing in kind of feeling. I can feel it. And I've been in here just a few minutes. But to think, just to imagine how it would feel to be locked in here, that this is your home, this is your house, or not even a house, but this is your room, your home for the next 30, 40 years or more. Understandably, the person who would be in here should have committed the crime. You know, you commit the crime, you do the time. However, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm here to explain and express and visualise and tell you exactly how these experiences feel, so that you've got something to go by. Not just on what you can hear and see, but I want you to know what it feels like, because you may never get a chance like this. So I'm trying to explain to you what it feels like. And it's not a nice feeling. I don't feel sad or depressed, I just feel despair. If I was in here on my own, I'd feel incredibly lonely. That would probably do my head in more than anything, the loneliness. And you've just got so much time to think, and that's not always a good thing. It's not always a good thing. I can just feel the intensity. I can feel the intensity all around me. I can feel it pressing, touching me. It's very intense. I can feel it, I can hear it actually. I can feel the intensity on my ears. Because your ears are obviously very sensitive to touch and wind and stuff. I can feel the intensity. I can feel the intensity of the peace and the quiet. But I'm sure it probably wasn't quiet by any means, but I can feel the intensity of the closing in and that just that closing in feeling. I can feel it touching my skin. I really can. I can just feel it touching my physical body. It's just all around me. It's just a very heavy feeling in the air. It's not nice. So that's to give you an idea of what it's actually like and feels like. I mean, that's just a snippet, that's just a brief 5 minutes or so, however long we've been here for. That's to give you a brief idea of just what it feels like in a prison cell, in an actual prison cell. Like I said, these cells, guys, like I've said already, everything you see is real. These haven't been repainted, these haven't been refurbished, these are not replicas, these are actual cells with actual beds, actual doors, everything is real. This is as real as it gets. This isn't a mock-up. You know, this is the real deal. And even though I'm free to leave this building whenever I like, it doesn't change the experience, it doesn't alter it, because it's the same. The only difference is I have that choice to leave the cell whenever I want. And so, when you're in an experience like this, it's a lot easier to think that the only difference is I've just got to take, or imagine having that choice of being able to leave away from the experience, and there you go. That's it. That's what it's like. So, anyway, unconscious time, we've been running for an incredible amount of time. So we're already looking at 46 minutes plus what we've done already, and this is only the first part of the episode. but there is no way that I was going to miss anything out of this episode. We've still got the rest of the prison to cover yet. So let's leave the prison, or should we leave the prison? Let's leave this out. What I'd like to do is just take it back onto the second floor and just spend a couple of minutes, if it's quiet, just let you see what it's like to be in a wing in absolute silence. And then we're going to finish the first half, and then we'll come back for the second half after that. So that's why we'll leave it at the door. There you go. At least you've got an idea of what it's like. Okay, so let's open the door, see how the doors are. Open. That's it. Let's leave. Oh, wow. That was an intense feeling. Okay. So there we go. So very, very quickly, I'm just going to quickly skip down here, guys. Again, we showed you already, didn't we? That's right, we did. So come down here. Okay. So we've just come down here, so we've walked all the way to the other end. Again, there is something attached. When I say attached, there is something about this particular cell. Now, this is cell 43. Okay, so this is the same side as cell 23. Okay, so cell 23 is known as the fridge. Cell 43, for some reason, there is a lot of history, or there is something attached to this particular cell. I don't know why. Wow, I can. Okay, I'm just going to explain. I'm just going to turn the camera around because okay. So there is a reason. I don't know why. There's a reason why this cell has just got a different feel from the rest. Now, as soon as I walk through the door, I can feel it straight away. I don't know what it is about this cell. I don't know why. I don't know who stayed in this cell, what they did. I don't know anything like that. But there is definitely something different about this cell. So it's cell 43, level 4 of A-Wing. It's just got a different feeling altogether. It feels totally different from that other cell altogether. As soon as I walked through the door, it was like I walked into it. It definitely feels different in here. Oh my goodness me. Oh my word. I've just got the most incredible sense of almost like tingly. Not so much my physical body, but almost like the air around my body. Not electricity, just like tingly, just like, could really feel it then. But anyway, that's just to let you know about this particular cell. Yeah, it feels so different in here. Not nasty or horrible, just, I don't know, it feels different. Really different. The air in here, the atmosphere in this cell feels totally different. I can really feel it. It's quite strong. I can definitely feel it. It's just, I don't know, very tingly where I'm standing. Just here, just very tingly. Something very, very different. I don't know what. Anyway, very strange. I've got a cobweb in my hair. Anyway, let's leave this cell and let's go back out. Okay, how's about I take you back down to level 2? There you go. I've just got level 2. We'll spend a couple of minutes. I just want you to know what it's like. Let's go down the middle stairs. I just want you to know what it's like being on A-Wing in absolute silence. So I just walk in, just so you can see behind me, look. So that's where we just come from. We just come from cell 43. Man, that cell felt so different. It felt really, not weird, it just felt really, almost like charged in a way. Does that make any sense? Almost like charged. Anyway, so I'm not going to keep showing you the same stuff, but okay. So let's go downstairs. So we're going to go down to level. I can't believe I'm going to be spending a whole night in here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're on level 3. So it's the same as level 2 and 1 and 4. Yeah, it's all the same, pretty much. Yeah, that's so let's go down to level 2. I just want to go down to the snooker table because I think that's. Okay, so we're now on level 2. So, yeah, so you can see anyway. Okay, so we're on level 2. And we're going back to where the snooker table is. But that's where we were just up there, like, so you can kind of see where we were. Okay, so you can see level 3 above and level 4. We're on level 2 and level 1's just underneath. Okay, so I just want to spend a couple of minutes here, so you can kind of see. Okay, so just a couple of more little bits of information, if you like. Now, I know there were some, I wouldn't say famous, well, there was one particular famous person who stayed in this prison. Now, don't quote me, okay, but I'm going to try and get this as correct as I can. I can't remember his exact name, can't remember, but one of the train robbers spent time here. When I say spent time, I think he spent nearly most of his life of imprisonment in this prison. Okay, so one of the great train robbers, as you know, is a very famous and well-known story, the Great Train Robbery in Yorkshire. I don't think it was Lancashire, I think it was Yorkshire. So one of them was... somebody opening, I don't know if I have no idea if you heard that on the camera, but it sounded like somebody was opening and closing one of the gates up there, and then very, very faintly I could hear just a few footsteps. I don't know if they were what it sounded like on the stairs. That's what it sounded like. But they were very faint footsteps, like 3 or 4. It stopped. I don't know if you heard that on camera, I've got no idea. I don't think you would have heard the footsteps because they were really faint, but they were sounding like little light steps on the stairs. But it was like a door or a gate, not one of the doors, but one of the gates had been opened and closed, and then a couple of footsteps from up there. I can hear little creaky noises, and I know that's just the skyline windows, but but that's why I stopped. That's why I froze, because I could hear that. I heard the noise, the squeak, and then the footsteps. Just a couple, 3 or 4, very light, but very light. So we're on A wing, alone, again. There's people that we hear. I don't know if you could hear when we were kind of up here before. You could probably hear people in the background. They've gone. We're now on A wing, alone. There's no one else in this block. Because it's so quiet, you can hear. You can just hear people straight away. But there's nobody here. It's just me and you. So very quickly, very briefly. So yes, so we had one of the great train robbers who actually spent time on this A-wing. I don't know what cell, I have no idea what level or what cell. I wish I knew, but I don't. But yes, one of the great train robbers served time here. I do know that the Crays came here. I do know they came to, I don't know if they served. I don't know how to explain this to you. I don't know how to explain this to you. I'm standing here and I've got just over my shoulder, just here, there, I've got really cold air. And none of the prison doors, none of the prison windows are open. Okay, none of them. And you could see by, you could see how it's again there. I'm pointing to it. I'm actually pointing to it. None of the prison windows are open. They're all closed. They tend to keep the windows closed because it does get very cold here. It's not cold in here by any means, but all the windows are shut. The doors you could see were closed anyway when we came in. Now, I'm not saying that somebody might have left them open, but it's just here. That's why I'm hesitating. 3 times I've just had a really cold breeze or movement of air just behind my shoulder. Here, I can feel it. And it's blowing on the back of my hand holding the camcorder. It's not there now. There was just not one after the other, but 3 fairly strong breaths of cold air. Not about icy cold, but very cold here. And that's why I stopped. Anyway, we're alone. Anyway, there's nobody else here. So yeah, so I do believe some of the Crays spent some time here. Now, when I say spend some time here, I don't know if they were actually incarcerated here, or I'm not entirely sure. I believe they spent time here helping, but I don't know in which way. I don't know how they were helping. I don't know. But I do know that the Crays were here as well. They did spend time here, but not necessarily imprisoned and incarcerated here, but they did spend some time here. So the Crays were here too. And that's just a tiny little fly. And it's broad daylight. I dread to think what I'm going to be like when we do a live broadcast during the night. I dread to think. But yes. Anyway, so I'll just give you a little bit of insight. I don't think... Now, this site is 4 acres big. Okay, let's just give you an idea of the size. 4 acres big. So you can tell people when they walk in. Anyway, I am going to finish the first half of this video message here. And we're going to continue the second half in a minute. So... thank you so much. We've nearly been running for nearly an hour. In fact, this first half's probably gone on for about an hour and a half. Now, the second half may not be as long. I don't know. It depends. But even if it does, it doesn't matter anyway, because you guys can watch as much or as little as you like. You can watch bits of it as you like. But yes. So, there we go. So I'm going to finish there. But before I do, I'm just going to spend a few moments saying nothing and just let you have a look. But yeah, this site is 4 acres big. It's huge. And like I said, this is A wing, the biggest part of the prison. In part 2, we're going to go through there. I'm going to take you along the back corridor, and we're going to go through to C wing, which is the ladies' cells, the execution room, and some of the bits and pieces. That's where a lot of the stories about some of the people, and some of the actual stories are of the 7 people who were executed here as well. So we'll have a look at them. And then that will be the end of it. But before I do, let me just give you just a few moments. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to be absolutely quiet. But I just want you to have a look